Next problem of approximate value. Evaluate or find fifth root of 3.8 square plus 2 into 2.1 cube. So define the function fxy as fifth root. So write this 5 in root, or write raised to 1 by 5 x square plus 2y cube x square, because 3.8 square means x square, into 2 plus 2 into y cube 2.1 cube. So it is x square plus 2y cube bracket raised to 1 by 5. Fifth root means raised to 1 by 5. And then take x naught as a nearest integer to 3.8. So nearest integer to 3.8 is 4. And find right this take this delta x such that x naught plus delta x is 3.8, and therefore as x naught is 4, and therefore delta x is what, minus zero point 0.2, because the addition of 4 and minus zero point 0.2 is 3.8. X naught plus delta x is 3.8. And then take the nearest integer to 2.1. It is what, 2. 2 is the nearest integer to 2.1, and therefore take delta y as 0.1, and therefore y naught plus delta y is 2.1. This 2.1. And then the value of, use these formulas of the approximate value. What are that? F of x naught plus delta x, y naught plus delta y is f of x naught y naught plus df. So first find f of x naught y naught. It is what, x naught square in bracket x naught square plus 2y naught cube bracket raised to 1 by. So right here bracket raised to 1 by 5, and then substitute the values of x naught and y naught. We have the answer raised to 1 by 5. Don't write here 1 by 5 as 0.2. And this 32 raised to 1 by 5 means 2, because fifth power of 2 is 32. So 32, its fifth root is 2. And then we have to find df. What is df? The formula for this capital df is what, dab f by dab x at x naught y naught. So first find dab f by dab x and then dab f by dab y, and then find their values at x naught y naught. So dab f by dab x means the derivative of this function fxy with respect to x, partial derivative with respect to x, is what, 1 by 5 by using x raised to n rule, n x raised to n minus 1. So 1 by 5 x square plus 2y cube raised to 1 by 5 minus 1 is what, minus 4 by 5 into, right here, into derivative of x square plus 2y cube. So derivative of x square is 2x, and derivative of 2y cube with respect to x is 0. So write into 2x. Here is plus sign is there. So this write into, not plus, into 2x. Okay. So n x raised to n minus 1 into derivative of this bracket is 2x into 2x. And then the value at x naught y naught, that is substitute x as x naught, y as y naught. So we have into right here into 2 x naught, and then substitute x naught as 4, y naught as 2, and then into right here 2 into 4, here right 2 into 4, and so into here right into 8, and then we have answer 32 raised to minus 4 by 5 into 8. Write that answer. Okay. Then dab by f by dab of y with respect to y derivative is 1 by 5. This bracket raised to 1 by 5 minus 1 means minus 4 by 5 into derivative of x square plus 2y cube with respect to y. Derivative of x square is 0 with respect to y, and derivative of 2y cube is 6y square. Right here 6y square. This is right 6y square. And then this problem is for homework. So write its correct answer into 6y square. So then substitute at x and y as x naught y naught. We have this value 6 into y square 2 square. So write the correct answer. And then df is dab by dab x at x naught y naught, delta x dab by dab y at x naught y naught into delta y. So what is delta x and delta y? Delta x and delta y, this delta x is minus 0.2, delta y is 0.1. Substitute that values and find correct answer of df, capital df. Okay. And then the formula for approximate value is what, f of x naught plus delta x, y naught plus delta y is f of x naught y naught plus df. Substitute f of x naught y naught, this value, and then write the value of df and this 2. The value of f of x naught y naught is 2, and the value of df is write that value and find the value of this f of 3.8 2.1, because x naught plus delta x is 3.8, x naught plus delta x is 3.8 and y naught plus delta y is 2.1. Then f of 3.8 2.1 is what is f of xy? F of xy is this fifth root of x cube plus 2y cube. That is, we have fifth root of 3.8 square plus 2 into 2.1 cube. So write that, and that is equal to, we have the final answer. Okay, so find the correct answer. The next problem, using differentials, find the approximate value of 2.01 into 3.02 bracket square. So define the function fxy as x into y square, and then take x naught and y naught. X naught is the nearest integer to 2.01 is 2, and delta x is 0.01, and nearest integer to 3.02 is 3, and delta y is 0.02, and therefore x naught plus delta x is 2.01, y naught plus delta y is 3.02. And then find value of f of x naught y naught is x naught square, x naught into y naught square. Substitute the value of x naught and y naught, we have the answer 18. Then find dy by dy x. Dy by dy x means partial derivative with respect to x is y square. Dy by dy x, derivative of x is 1 and y square is constant. So right here y square. It is not 2 x into 2 xy. It is y square. This is the answer of dy by dy x. Dy by dy x is y square. And this is dy by dy y. Dy by dy y is what? 2x into y. So this is dy by dy y, and this is dy by dy x. And their values at x naught and y naught. The value of dy by dy y at x naught y naught is 12, and the value of dy by dy y at x naught y naught is what? 12, and this is the value of dy by dy x. Okay, and then df, find df, and then write the formula that f of x naught plus delta x y naught plus delta y is equal to f of x naught y naught plus df, and then we'll substitute the values, we have the final answer. Then the necessary condition for differentiability, when the function is differentiable, we know the definition of the differentiability of two variable function. The function fxy is said to be differentiable at point AB if this f of a plus h, b plus k minus f of ab expressed in the form ah plus bk plus h phi hk plus k psi hk. If this difference expressed in this form, where a and b are constants independent of h and k, and limit of phi and psi tends to 0 as hk tends to 0, 0, then we say the function is differentiable. So there is no necessary and sufficient condition for differentiability. There are separate conditions. Some conditions are necessary, some conditions are sufficient, but there is no single condition which is necessary as well as sufficient. And that's why, to show the two variable function differentiable or not differentiable, using necessary or sufficient condition, is it not possible? Using necessary condition, we can show that the function is not differentiable. So these conditions are necessary, not sufficient. So what is the theorem? Let f be a real valued function defined on a neighborhood of point AB, and if f is differentiable at AB, then prove that f is constant at AB, and fx AB and fy AB both exist. So we have to show the, if the function is differentiable, then the function is continuous. It's very obvious theorem that if the function is, it is also for one single variable function, that if the function is continuous, if the function is differentiable, then function is continuous, but the converse is not true. And for single variable, we know that the function mod x is what? The mod x function is continuous at 0, but the mod x function is not differentiable at 0 for single variable function. And it is also true for the two variable function, that if the function is differentiable, then function is continuous, but the converse is not true, that if the function is continuous, then function may or may not be differentiable at that point. And we have to show the partial derivative fx ab and fy ab both exist, but we can use this theorem, its negation. That is what? If the function is not continuous, then function is not differentiable. So if we show the function is not continuous, then we can say that the function is not differentiable. And if the partial derivative fx or fyab does not exist, then we say the function is not differentiable. So we can use the necessary condition to show the functions are not differentiable, but we cannot use the necessary condition to show the functions are differentiable. So how we can show the function is differentiable? How can we show the function of two variable is differentiable? uh, Either use the definition or use the sufficient condition. So this is the necessary condition. This is given that the function is differentiable at AB. So we'll write the first the meaning of the function differentiable at AB. So here is the some notes that if f is not continuous at AB or fx AB or fyab does not exist, then function is not differentiable at AB. So we have the three methods here. Due to this necessary condition, we have three methods to show the function is not differentiable at AB. How we can show the function is not differentiable at AB? Either show the function fxy is not continuous at that point AB, or we can show that fxab does not exist, or we can show that fyab does not exist. Then we say the function is not differentiable. But it does not mean that if the function is different, if the function is continuous and these partial derivatives exist, then function is differentiable at that point. So this is only necessary condition. These conditions are not sufficient conditions. So if f is not continuous at AB, then f is not differentiable at AB. fxab does not exist, then f is not differentiable at AB. And fyab does not exist, then f is not differentiable at AB. So these are the three sentences obtained from these necessary conditions. That is the equivalent statement of this necessary condition. So we know that P implies Q is equivalent to, logically equivalent to, not Q implies not P. P implies Q is logically equivalent to, not Q implies not P. So if the function is differentiable, then function is continuous. So this statement, equivalent statement of this statement is what? If the function is not continuous, then function is not differentiable. Okay. So proof of the theorem. We are given that the function, this is another form of the theorem. Either instead of a and b, sometimes the point is denoted by x naught, y naught. So given that the function fxy is differentiable at AB. So this is our assumption that the function is differentiable at AB, and what we have to show that function is continuous at AB and the partial derivative fxab and fyab both exist. So first write the meaning of the function fxy is differentiable at AB. What we have? The function is differentiable at AB, and so by using definition, this delta f or f of a plus h b plus k minus f of ab expressed in the form capital AH plus capital BK plus H phi HK plus K psi HK. What are A and B? A and B are constants independent of H and K. These are not functions of H and K, capital A and capital B. And limit of phi HK and limit of psi HK as HK tends to 0, 0 is 0. So this is by using the definition of differentiable function. This definition is very important. Definition, the function, when the function is differentiable at the point AB, two variable function. So by using definition, this is the meaning of given. Now we have to show, first, number one, we have to show the function is continuous at AB. fxy is continuous at AB. So taking limit of both sides of this equation start as hk tends to 0, 0. So what do we have? Limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k minus f of ab, this is LHS, is equal to limit of RHS, right? This AH plus BK plus H phi HK plus K psi HK in bracket, and take limit as HK tends to 0, 0 of both sides. So limit of RHS, that is HK tends to 0, 0 means substitute H is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0. So we have AH is 0, answer of AH is 0. This term BK is 0 because K is 0. Then H is 0, and also the limit of phi HK is 0 as HK tends to 0, 0. So limit of this term is 0, limit of this term is 0. So limit of RHS is 0. So we have RHS as 0. And the limit of LHS. So what is the limit of the first factor? Limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k, minus limit of f of ab as hk tends to 0, 0 is itself f of ab, because f of ab is what? Is independent of h and k, is constant with respective limit. This function f of ab, there is no h or k in this function f of ab, and therefore the limit of this function f of ab as hk tends to 0, 0 is itself, and write the limit of f of a plus h, b plus k as hk tends to 0, 0. So limit of the first factor is this, and the limit of this f of ab as hk tends to 0, 0 is itself f of ab is equal to limit of RHS is 0. Then shift this f of ab to right side, and therefore what we have, limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab, and this means the function is continuous at ab. So what is the definition of fxy is continuous at ab? If limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab. Okay, if this happens, then the function is continuous. Okay, so this is in the previous chapter, the definition of continuity. So we can write the definition of continuity in two forms. So what is the definition of continuity? In the first chapter, the definition of continuity is what? When the function fxy is said to be continuous at ab. If the limit xy tends to 0, 0, xy tends to ab of fxy exists and is equal to f of ab, then the function is continuous. If the limit of xy tends to ab fxy exists and is equal to f of ab. So this is the definition of continuity. If limit of fxy as xy tends to ab exists and is equal to f of ab, then we say the function is continuous at ab. So another form of this definition of continuity, substitute x minus a is equal to h. Substitute x minus, that is x is equal to a plus h and y is equal to b plus k. Then what we have? Xy tends to ab, then x tends to h and k tends to 0, because x is what? X is a plus h, means h is x minus a. H is x minus a, and x minus a, if x tends to a, then x minus a tends to 0, that is hk tends to 0, 0. Okay, and then what we have, the another form of the definition of limit, as limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab, then we say the function is continuous at ab. So this is the another form of the definition of continuity, that is the limit xy tends to ab fxy is equal to f of ab, or right, limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab. Both the definitions are same. So we have that limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab, and therefore here we have limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k is equal to f of ab, and therefore the function is continuous at ab. So this is the first part, that the function is differentiable at ab, then the function is continuous at ab. So this is the another form of the definition. So what is our the form of limit function continuous? That limit xy tends to ab fxy is equal to f of ab. So limit xy tends to ab fxy and limit hk tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h, b plus k, these two are same. If we write x as a plus h, b as y as b plus k, then h is x minus a, k is y minus b, and then xy tends to ab, then hk tends to 0, 0. So both are same, that either take limit xy tends to 0, 0 fxy, or take limit xk k tends to 0, 0, f of a plus h b plus k is equal to f of ab, and therefore the function is continuous at ab. So this is the first part of the theorem, that function is differentiable at ab, then function is continuous at ab. Now we have to show these partial derivatives fx ab and fy ab both exist. So right, the definition, what is the definition of fx ab? In the previous chapter, we observed that the definition of fx ab is what? Limit h tends to 0, f of a plus hb minus f of ab divided by h is fx ab. So this is given, equation star is given, that the function is differentiable, means we have this. So take limit h tends to 0 of both sides. Taking limit h. So first substitute h is equal to 0 in star. So we have to show now the function fx, the partial derivative fx ab exists. So for that, substitute h in the first part, substitute h as k as 0. So substitute k as 0 in equation star. What we have? F of a plus h comma b plus 0 at b minus f of ab, f of a plus h comma b minus f of ab, we have this f of ab is equal to capital A into h, capital A into h, the value of k is 0, so this term becomes 0, h phi h 0, and this term is also 0. So we have this f of a plus h b minus f of ab is equal to ah plus h phi h 0. Okay, then take h as common factor to right side and shift to left side. So we have f of a plus h b minus f of ab divided by h is equal to capital A plus phi h 0. Then taking limit as h tends to 0 of both sides. So what we have? Limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h comma b minus f of ab divided by h is equal to limit h tends to 0 in bracket capital A plus phi h 0. And then limit h tends to 0, f of a plus h b minus f of ab divided by h is fx ab. It is the partial derivative with respect to x at ab. This is the definition of partial derivative at ab. And then limit of capital A as h tends to 0 is itself a, because a, this constant a is what? A and b are constant independent of h and k. So that these a and b are independent of h and k. That means this capital A is constant with respective limit. So limit h tends to 0 of capital A is itself capital A, but the limit of phi hk as h tends to 0 is 0, because phi and psi are the functions such that their limit is 0 as hk tends to 0, 0. So we have the answer of capital, we have the answer of this fx ab, partial derivative with respect to x at ab, is got capital A. Similarly, we can show that the fy ab also exists. So for that, substitute h is equal to 0 in star, and then we have this f of a b plus k minus f of a b is equal to this. Take this k as common, shift to LHS, and taking limit as k tends to 0. And the value of this LHS is what? Is nothing but fy ab, partial derivative with respect to y at ab. F of a b plus k minus f of ab divided by k is what? Fy ab. And limit of capital B is itself b, and limit of phi 0k is 0. Okay, and so fy ab is equal to capital B, and therefore we say fy exists. Here we have fx ab exists. Here we say that fy ab exists, and therefore the proof of the theorem that if the function is differentiable at ab, then function is continuous at ab, and fx ab and fy ab both exist. And so we can use this theorem to write the another form of the definition of differentiability. So what is the small capital A? Capital A is fx ab, and capital B is what? Fy ab. And so another form of the definition is what? The definition, another form of differentiability, that function fxy is differentiable at ab if f of a plus h b plus k minus f of ab expressed in the form capital AH, instead of write capital A, write small, write fx ab, that the partial derivative with respect to x at ab, fx ab h into fx ab plus k into fy ab, write that value of capital B as fy ab, plus h phi hk plus k psi hk, where phi and psi tends to 0 as hk tends to 0, 0. So this is the another form of the definition of differentiability. So this is the necessary condition of differentiability. Similarly, the sufficient condition of differentiability. When the function is differentiable at AB, the sufficient condition for differentiability. These are some problems uh, that we have to show the function is continuous but not differentiable. So sufficient condition, the proof of the sufficient condition is not included in the new syllabus. So just remember the statement of sufficient condition. The proof is not included in the syllabus. So ignore this proof of the sufficient condition. That is only the, remember the statement of the theorem. So what is the sufficient condition of differentiability? Let fxy be a real valued function defined on neighborhood of point AB. And if fx and fy both exist, and condition number 2, one of the partial derivative fx or fy is continuous at AB, then the function is differentiable at AB. So this is the sufficient condition. So when the function is differentiable, the sufficient conditions are what? Fx, AB and Fy, that is the partial derivative with respect to x and y at AB exists, and one of them, Fx or either Fy, is continuous at AB, then function is differentiable at AB. But the converse of the necessary condition is what? That the function is continuous at AB, then function is differentiable at AB. This is not true. When the function is differentiable at AB, either first partial derivative with respect to x or y is continuous at AB, then function is differentiable at AB. Fx, AB and Fy, AB both exist and one of them is continuous at AB, then function is differentiable at AB. So this is the sufficient condition, and these are the some problems on the function not differentiable, or the functions are differentiable at some point 0, 0. So we will see these problems in the next lecture.